how I am following the structure. In the beginning, we will go with the external financial reporting, and then after we will take one small like technology and analytics, so that you can have a time, you can revise this section 2 to 3 times before you go for the exam. Then after we will go for the planning and budgeting, then again we will go for the internal control, so that internal control, once you finish in between, you will have a sufficient time. So then after we can go for the performance and the costing. This way we are going to complete, and we have a target days, like in 8 classes we will be completing the financial reporting. After that, in the 12 classes, we will be completing the planning, budgeting, and forecasting. And the same way, we have the performance management. We have a 12 classes deadline. In the costing, we can complete within the 7 classes. Then after it comes to the internal control, it takes around 4-5 classes. And on the technology, we doing all the concepts and the practice. It takes generally 6 classes. So altogether, for me, it is the 50 classes. If I take, I can complete the all the theory question with some practicals. More or less, we are doing around 2 to 300 questions in the class with the people. Okay, we will be doing like in front of you, and I'll ask you to do, so that it like you will be learn how to do the questions in your exam. This is a very exam oriented things. Like if you are learn this, you will be going for the exams, and then you don't need to think how the time management works, because you will be doing the questions with me. You will be learning the techniques how I am doing, so that you can save your time. It is going to be the very much exam oriented. So this was just I wanted to tell you. This is just a 50-day program. I want your 50 days. If you are giving your 50 days, for sure you are going to complete your one section of the CMA, one part of the CMA. You can say that part one you can do, but the only thing that you have to be very much committed. You have to study for around 2 to 3 hours every day. Still you have around, in the February itself, you have around 20 days, March you have 31 days, and the January 15. It means that 20 and this 15, 35 days and 31 days. It's around 65 days you have on the calendars. So out of 65, you can just keep 15 days for you. So it means there's still 50 days in you for you to study. If you are studying for 3 to 4 hours, it means you are studying for 200 hours. In the 200 hours, you will be able to complete your CMA part 1. But the only thing is that you have to focus, you have to be the regular. If you have missed the class, for sure, you are going to miss the things. So now, today we are going to start about the external reporting. So, do anyone has any concern? Please let me know. So first of all, can somebody tell me what the financial reporting you means? What are the things why we are doing the financial reporting? Can somebody tell me the purpose, the reason for doing the financial reporting in a small, in brief, in one line? Can somebody tell me? Okay. So basically why we are doing it in business gives the users. Okay, the financial reportings, why we are doing, first of all, who are the business? Who are the business users? So first of all, we should know that, and that for the fulfilling of their purpose, we are doing the financial reporting. So we have like stakeholders, like investors, employee, manager, stakeholder, shareholders, debtors, creditors, government. These are the people who are affected by our financial reporting. They are the stakeholders. They are interested to know our performance. Investor, because they have invested the money. Employees, because they wanted to have the job security, getting the salary, getting the bonus, getting the comfort zone, all these things. The manager getting to know how they are performing, how the team is performing, so that they can get the perks. Shareholders, because they have done the investment, so they are expecting the dividend. So for sure they wanted to know the business feasibility, how the business is getting performed. Debtors, because they are the people who are buying from you. If your business are not good, maybe you will do some unethical things to keep you survive. So before they do the business with you, they wanted to know that how your business is doing. And the creditors, for sure, they wanted, before giving the credit, they are the one who is supplying the goods to you. So they wanted to know that your credibility, they wanted to know your solvency, liquidity. That's where if you have purchased the goods, the goods, are you able to give the money back to them or not? So these are the peoples who are directly impacted by your financial statement. And the government, for sure. Why? Because they are the one who is charging the tax on you. So they are directly interested in your business to. So they are the one, because government will take the tax, put the tax on you. So they are directly affected with your business. And the one who is the indirectly is the financial analyst, because they may be the technical analyst, they may be the fundamentals. So the financial analyst gives the idea about the business, so that investors can invest the business in you. So when it comes to the financials reporting, so financial reporting tells about your financial positions, how you are holding the assets, what is the liability you have, how what is the sustainability of your business, how you are generating the incomes, how you are doing the expenses and all, income statement, and about your cash flows, how whether you are having the proper cash flow from the operations. Like there are the three heads where you can get the cash flows. So how you are generating the cash flow for the business. So basically, when it comes to the financial reporting tells about your financial positions, tells about how you are earning, tell about the what is the cash flow and from where you are getting the cash flow, and how your, like, and other reports like notes on accounts and other things are reporting, are showing that how your directors and managers are performing into the business. So I just wanted to tell you there are certain things which is included in the financial statement. What are those items that has to be there in the financial statement? Can somebody tell me? Hello. Financial statement, what are the item is included?
Yes, there are five statements: income
Okay.
statement, balance sheet, cash flow, statement of changes in equity, and OCI, other comprehensive income.
Okay, so now you can tell me that what you understood from the balance sheet, what are the item is included in balance sheet?
Asset, liabilities, and shareholders' equity. Three items.
Asset, liabilities, and shareholders
Shareholders.
equities. So can somebody tell me, define what is the asset? What do you understand? Harpreet, now you tell me, because I know. How, Harpreet, hello? Harpreet. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, tell me what is your understanding about the asset?
So if I'm just going on a practical basis, I would say the amount which has been remained after giving all the liabilities and the equity, when you're adding liabilities with equity, it is creating assets, or every tangible and intangible items which are giving the resources to the firm.
Okay, that's
The creation
good.
items like the machinery, building, or patents, which are intangible, but they are the things which are involved in money creation.
Okay, that's good. So, RR, what is your understanding about the liability?
Liabilities are those
Can't hear you.
obligations.
Can't hear you properly.
Liabilities are those obligations which the company has to pay towards the external authorities, sir.
To the external. Why owners are not the liability holder for the business?
Um, Owners are also liability holders, sir.
So why just you notify only the external? It can be
Um,
internal. Even the salary payable is the liability for you. Salary
yes.
payable is a liability for you.
Oh, okay, sir. I
So
thought
like,
in terms of books and capital.
no, I do understand when you mention explicitly that external, so it means you are missing a very important thing, that is the salary, because salary you are paying the internal people like your people.
Yes, sir.
So it's not the external people, is it?
Sir,
Actually,
sir,
no.
Yes.
sir, sir, can I just try?
Yeah, again, please.
Liability is generally to say it is a person who owes some amount, generally according to my understanding.
Yes, you owes for him. Yes, exactly. But it's a very it's a very like bookish language. It's like very technical. The person who don't know all these things, he will not able to understand. So you have to make it little clear.
Who has to pay an amount in the future to another person, to a creditor?
Okay. Now the CMA is also teaching the definition for the asset as well as the liability as well as for the owner's equity. So first of all, I am agreed that there are 5 things is there in the financial statement. Financial statement contains the balance sheet showing the position of the asset and the liability, and at the end owner's equity. Owner's equity is the residual interest in the business. Then it comes to the income statement showing the statement of the revenue and the expenses for the period. Is it okay? Now when it's come, then it's a statement of the cash flow. A statement of the cash flow means it is just a reconciliations of the cash flow from the two period. It will show that okay, how much you are getting the cash from there and where you are application, what is the application of your cash. Can somebody tell me in the cash flow what are the sources defined? Can somebody tell me what are the
Yeah,
sources? Yeah, please.
there are three ways.
Yes.
Okay. Operating, investing, and financing.
Operating, investing, and financing. That's so
Yeah.
nice. So straight. And then the fourth is like in the financial statement. The fourth point is called the statement of change in equity. It is the statement that will show that how the equity in the business is getting the changes over the period, how it is getting changes. Now it comes to the comprehensive income. Comprehensive income is that those income actually which is not rooted through the income statement but impacting, like other OCI is the component. So OCI is those income that is not directly going to the income statement, that is routing through the balance sheet, that is called the OCI. We have 2-3 example of it. So when it comes to the comprehensive income, the comprehensive income includes the income statement as well as the OCI. OCI is like the income which is generated from the non-owner resources. The keyword is the non-owner resources. When it says the OCI, you have to always keep in the mind it is the income which you have generated but actually not generated the way you are generating the other revenue or the business or the income for the business. So it is an enhancement, or it may be the decrease of your asset or some liabilities, but it's not directly going through the income statement. So we have to route through the other comprehensive income. The example is like you have some foreign liabilities, or some you have some foreign recoveries in the foreign exchange. So the moment you have incurred that liability, that time you have a dollar of 70, but now when you are going to pay or not going to pay, you are just closing your books on that day, it is getting 75 per dollar. So it means you have to make a provision for 5, and that what you are doing, you may do it through the OCI. So that we will learn in very detailed, but just for the information, there are 5 things that is included in the financial statement. One is the balance sheet, the other is the income statement, the third is the statement of cash flow, the fourth is a statement of the genuine equity, and the fifth is the comprehensive income. And then when we say the comprehensive income, it includes the income statement as well as the OCI. Now I wanted to tell you what is the definition of asset. The asset means a probable future economic benefit obtained or controlled by an equipment, by an entity as a result of past transactions or events. So that if anything, that if you are investing in some resources and resources gives you the benefits, gives you the business in the future, it means that is an asset. That what Ramvit has said, that he explicitly specified there's a 2 type of asset. One is the tangible, one is the intangible asset. The tangible which you can see, feel, touch. Intangible that is recorded in the books, but actually you cannot feel, you just feel it, but you cannot see and touch. That the example is like goodwill, patent, copyright are the example of the non-tangible asset. And the tangible asset, you can say that the plant equipment and plant property and equipments. Now it's the liability. Liability is the probable future sacrifices of economic benefit. Like you have some resources where you are going to get some income in your future, but now you are not keeping that. You have to settle some liability, some obligation. So it means that you are actually sacrificing the future economic benefits, and that from the past obligation of an entity to transfer of the asset provides the service to the others. Either he has given you some services, he has transferred you. Why this liability has been arises? Because maybe you have taken some services, maybe you have taken some asset, and this has happened in the past. So it means the liability means where you are going to probable future sacrifices of economic benefit, because if you are going to use your asset to settle this liability, so now you are not going to earn any benefits in the future. So that's why it's called the probable future sacrifices of economic benefits. When it comes to the equity, equity is what? Equity is the residual interest in the business. So now I just want to tell you what actually we have covered until now. We have not covered anything else. We just covered what FS. What is included in FS? And then what we learn about what balance sheet, what PL, what statement of the cash flow, a statement of change in equity, and comprehensive income. Then I say that what is assets and what is liability, and then I say that who is the user of FS. Okay, and what the FS provides. So actually we have discussed 5-6 points until now. Is anybody have any question in this? Hello? Does anyone have any question in this?
No, sir.
No.
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 So how the balance sheet? See, in the balance sheet, what I said, first I said non-current asset. Okay, in which we have PP&E, we have investment, then we have a current asset. Under the current asset, we can have a AR, we can have
Short-term investment, sir.
yeah, we can have a short-term investment. We can have a cash and cash equivalent. Okay, and when it comes to the liability, then we have a this all like I can say that in the non-cons we have a PP&E of 100. We have an inventory of we have an investment of 150. It means how much the non-current asset we have? We have a non-current asset of 250. So then we have a current asset. Say in the AR I said 50. Inventory I have 150. Short-term investment I can say 100, and then cash and bank I have a 200. So it means that we have a current asset of how much? 350. So it means I have a total is yes. Now I am saying that equity say I have 200. When I say long-term loan say 200. Now I can say that current liability. In the current liability, I am saying that AP say AP we have like 150. Then we have other accrueds. First of all, have you seen the balance sheet? You remember anything with you? Hello?
जी मतलब स्टैटिक होता है एज ऑन
Yes, I will just ask some few basic things. So these are the things actually. So you always make it is as on. So what is the relevance of making it as on? Can somebody tell me? What is the relevance of making it as on? Why we are making it as on?
balance sheet for the
Okay, so it is just reflecting your position on a specific or a particular date. Okay, so that is the one reason of that making it as on or as at. That is the weakness of balance sheet. That what today what you have, maybe tomorrow you don't have. Balance sheet does not have the historical data, but we are recording our asset and on the historical cost. So how the balance sheet does not contain the historical data? Can you tell me? When you say that balance sheet does not have the historical data, and as a basic principle we are recording all the asset and liability as the historical or as the historical cost, then these two lines are conflicting. Now
Yes. Balance sheet is maintained historical information. More than 1 year information is maintained.
No, but even assets are generally recorded under cost.
Yeah. From inception to the date.
To the date. But actually it is showing as on, means on a particular date what is your financial position. But when you say that data is recorded, it's always recorded on the historical date and on the historical cost. Okay. So now there's one small thing. Yes, tell me, Roshan bhai, you wanted to tell something? Now can somebody tell me what do you understand by the current asset? Can somebody tell me?
It is partly correct.
Partly correct. Now Anil, tell me, what is the 100% correct?
Current asset is that asset. First of all, it will be of within 1 year, as as he said, and also it contains a one operating cycle, like anything. Like for an example, there if there is a builder,
Mm-hmm.
so for him a flat will not be his fixed asset because he is trading in it. So
Yes.
there are many flats like that. So we will consider it as current asset. So
No.
any
Okay. Sorry. You carry on.
anything which is in which takes a one operating cycle,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that all thing will come in current asset. For example, you can say liquor also.
Oh.
While manufacturing liquor, it takes a lot of time, like years. So we don't tell it as it is our fixed asset.
Okay. Good. See,
Am I right, sir?
yes, you are right, but the example is somehow I can take it, but from the exam point of view, this example is not much convincing. But I'll tell you one thing, that you are definition wise, you are 110% correct. The current assets are those assets which is being used or liquidated, what you can say that within 1 year or within one operating cycle. So operating cycle sometimes more than 12 months, but you have to consider as a current asset. So that what you have taken one example for the real estate, and that I am agree with that, but liquor I don't know. So one thing is there, and second thing, in the CMA there is a one question. They said that your operating cycle is
Sir, can you
7
please
months.
repeat? Sorry for interrupting, sir. Your voice.
No, I'm telling
Gone
that
in the
your
voice.
definition is 110% correct. The current assets are those assets which is being liquidated or used for the 12 months or one operating cycle. So that is there. If your operating cycle is 15 months and your accounting months is 12 months. So for the purpose of this identifying as a current asset, you can record whatever comes within the 15 month as a current asset. For that example, real estate example is fit for that. Okay, that is one part.
Yes.
Second, in the CMA, there is a one question is being asked, okay, if an operating cycle is 9 months, okay, and the
Yes.
and for the operating cycle is 9 months, and the question was saying, now you tell me ki whether I will calculate, and your accounting is of generally you say that 12 months. So okay, but you have kept some asset for the 12 month. Do you classify it for the current asset or no? The question was saying your operating cycle is 9 months and you kept some asset for 12 months. Do you classify this asset as a current asset or no?
Yes.
What is the reason being? What is the reason behind?
Because
So when you write in, when you write in the Excel, now you have to write higher of 12 months or operating cycle. Anil, please close my mic because your mic are getting some outside. So, Roshan bhai, so this means that you have to take the higher one. Sometimes the question may confuse you, but you have to be very strict. 12 months on operating cycle, whichever is higher. That's all, simple. Now, current asset may, for this question, your current asset is of 12 months. For the question what I asked. $13 months. Because whichever is higher, higher of 12 or operating, simple. Okay, now the same thing is applied. Can you tell me for the current liability? Current liability, there is a question is being asked in CMA that you have a bonds and that is payable in next 6 months. How do you classify that bond? There is a bond that is redeemed, that were issued 5 years before. Now within 6 months it is going to be redeemed. What will be your answer? You will classify as a long-term liability or the current liability? Yes, you have to, not you have to classify, because it simply says that the obligation is to be paid within 12 months or in operating cycle, even though it was the non-current liability before, but by that time it was not payable for me, but now it's being payable and the tenure is less than 12 months or one operating cycle, so it means I have to classify it as a current liability. So this two question was asked from this structure itself, Now, what is this called? This is also called the residual interest. When I say the equity, owner's equity, we can say that owner's equity says that residual interest. Is it okay? So until now we are okay with the financial statement, what it included, how the balance sheet looks, what exactly we say that what is current asset, what is current liability, and how the what we call the owner's equity. So you have idea about the accounting equation. So accounting equation is asset is equal to Are you okay with this or no? Is it okay? Roshan bhai? It's okay. Now I will take one example. I will make an structure for IS. IS stands for income statement. So can somebody tell me income statement made for what? As on or for the period?
It's for the
For the
period.
period.
For the period. Can you tell me what is the reason for making for the period?
It is to analyze the financial performance.
So even the financial position can tell your financial performance. If your asset because now I am going to tell you about the matching concept. Matching concept. So it is always make for the period. Because whatever you are making the revenue or expenses, that you are making for over the period, not for a particular day, not for that. So you are analyzing your performance for the period. It is being equated. You can say that it is spread over the period, not equated, it's a spread over the period. So this is the reason for making an income statement for the period. So now, can somebody tell me, because there is a two basic concept that need to tell me. First, I miss here, that is entity concept. Can somebody tell me what do you mean by entity concept?
What did you say? Entity concept.
Yes.
Yeah, means entity and the business both are different individuals. Owner and the
Both
business entity.
both are separate.
Both are separate. So this is what we call the entity. Now the reason for making this income statement for the period is the reason called matching concept. Can somebody tell me what is called the matching concept?
Matching concept is like for all expenses should be booked when it happens. We should not wait until it is paid. And if there is a revenue, it has to be a cost. This is something about matching concept.
Some people need to be more specific.
Sir, may I?
Yes, please.
Sir, matching concept means like in the like for a particular year, what income has we
See,
have
first
earned
of all,
for
first of all,
that income. Yes.
First of all, I
For
try
that
to
income,
interrupt.
how much expenses we have did in that year with respect to that year, that we will note.
Just I wanted to highlight you when you are saying year, so that
Yes.
it's making your answer wrong. Okay. It is always says period, accounting period. When you say year has a definition. Year consists of 12 months. Year can be financial year, can be accounting year. तो year का एक अपना ही definition है. So we have to always may say it's an accounting period. Now you tell me your answer.
Like for one period, sir. In one period, if we recorded incomes, so for that period only, how much expenses we incurred, that we will note with respect to that period only.
See, the first of all, the matching concept says that revenue and expenses incurred and earned, the revenue must be belongs to the same accounting period, must be matched to each other, first of all.
Yes.
And the second, that the reason behind that, why we are doing it, because we wanted to have a true and fair presentation. Otherwise, what will be happening, if you want to overstate your income, you will overlook the expenses, you will record it in the next period. If you wanted to save your tax and show the losses to the business, you can do what? You can not record your revenue, you can record in the subsequent period. So in this way, you can play with your income statement. So the matching concept actually help you to have your true and fair presentations of your financial statement. So now there's a two things comes together. Now we learn about two things. One is the matching concept. The matching concept principle says that the revenue or the expenses has to be recorded. If it is for the same accounting period, has to be recorded in the same accounting period. The reason behind that, you wanted to have the true and fair presentations of your income statement. It will help you because two mindset can work here. One, if the people wanted to have to show the inflated profit, he can overlook the expenses and he can report it. If he wanted to save some taxes, he can overlook the revenue, even just to show their losses, and he don't want to pay that, he can get rid from the paying of tax. So this matching concept help us to get the true and fair financial statement. Is it okay for you or no? Okay, so in the income statement, we record generally revenue. Say so can somebody tell me what do you mean by the revenue? Prime business. Yes. Prime business. Okay. Then what is about the cost?
Sir?
Yes, tell me.
Sir, it actually refers to the cost of goods sold, sir. That is a direct cost of producing the goods sold by the company.
Oh, no, I just wanted a definition of cost, revenue.
Cost is the
Like,
expense. No, sir.
no. Okay, you can say that expense. Okay. Sorry. Expense. Yes.
The expense is the amount spent to generate the revenue.
Expense in totality. Cost is equal to expense in totality.
Cost is equal to?
Expense in
Hello?
totality. Yes, sir.
Expense is a cost of revenue.
No.
No, cost, when we say cost, it is like 100, but if we tell expense, so expense is of small amount like 10, 10, 10, 10. Then 10 into 10, we will get 100.
Mm-hmm.
So the 100 will be the cost and the expense we will denote as 10. So expense is a small part of cost, we can say.
See, the cost actually I don't want to discuss here because the cost is something else. Cost is a very big concept. Okay, so don't say that cost is a small part. Cost is a very big concept. We will discuss and then we will discuss the costing. Okay, just I wanted to have two things clarified here. One is the revenue, one is the expenses. So when it comes to the revenue is the whatever the income you are generating from the central business, from your main business, that is called the revenue. When it comes to the expenses, it means when you are running whatever the expenses you are doing to maintain your operation, the central operation or main business, that is called the expense. Okay, this is the definitions with what they are expecting in the exam. When they ask you define what is the expenses, then you have to say that expenses are the cost incurred or something like that just to maintain the central business or the main operations of the business. So that is called the expenses. Now you have some gain or loss. Gain and sale of asset. It is not your primary business. When you are dealing as a when you are dealing in the garments business, the garments items may be your expenses. Whatever you are doing for the garments, it is an expenses for you. But you have some furniture and that has broken, and now you are selling after making all the depreciation adjustment. You get some 500 rupees as a income because you sell it at some higher price. You get some more scrap values. So that is called gain on sale of asset. So that is a gain. So when say gain, so gain is what? Gain is the revenue generated from non-central operation. It's not from the main operation of the business. It is generated, but is it from the ancillary activities? It is not from the main activities. Now you tell me. Yes.
Sir, is it like a increase in the value of an asset, sir?
No, because some asset has been broken and now you are selling it as a scrap. So you are thinking that your scrap value is 200, but to some reason you are able to sell it for 800. So it means you earn 500 as a gain. So that gain is not your main business. It is an ancillary activities of your main activities. The main activity is doing the garment business. Now I am taking an example because in the income statement, tell me.
Yeah, we can even call it the interest income. So, for example, you have a bank balance or FD. The interest that you are earning is not from your operating income. That's not your main operating business.
Yeah, that is like ancillary activities. Auxiliaries activities, you can say that. Auxiliary activities. So this is an example because the question is asked that define gain, define loss.
The definition also we expect for in exam.
Yes, exactly. Because when they ask some theory question as an objective, so they test your knowledge based on the definition.
In essay.
No, not go to that level. In the MCQ itself.
Oh.
In the MCQ itself, they can ask you, sometimes they ask a very small things. They will not ask the bigger question. a big thing. They just ask a small things, and which is purely definition based. Definition based. So if you are not, yeah, for sure answer will be there. But if you don't know the tricky things, maybe you will be stuck. You will feel all the answer is same. So that's why we are going with the more clarity. Like I said, some people will get confused when it say the gain and the revenue. Maybe they can answer for the gain what is actually not for the gain, that is for the revenue. So there can be happen. So I just want to tell you, gain is not from the main operation, it is from the ancillary activities other than the main operation. When say there the loss on sale of asset, that is also one kind of loss, that is not from the main operations. Disposal of so it means that when I say the net profit as a income for you, then I say net income, net profit for you, I can say that. Okay. So in this question, net profit is 500 for you. So this is like an income statement. Can somebody tell me what do you mean by the dual aspect? Double entry system. Why we call it double entry system?
In
Because
accounting, every transaction has debit and credit. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Every transaction has two parts. One is debit and credit.
Okay, that's good. So, and then in the cash flow statement, I just want to tell you, in the cash flow statement, how the structure is. Today we are not going in detail. We are just talking about the structure. So a statement of the cash flow, the one cash flow you will get from the cash from operating activities. That what we have taken as a central activities. Operating activities means the business, what the business is doing, how the business is making the money. The second source is cash from investing activities. And the third is cash from financing activities. So this way we can present our statement of cash flow. So a statement of cash flow, and you can write here, and whatever be the result, it is called change in cash. Change in cash, and then you will add some cash and cash equivalent. And then you will have the answers, that is called the closing cash. So this is actually why we make, because since we are doing our business, since we are doing our accounting, not the business, since we are doing our accounting on accrual basis. Now can somebody tell me what is called the accrual concept? Okay. Okay, that what is called the accrual. Okay. Then this is also called mercantile basis. This is also called the mercantile basis. Is it? Because whatever the business you are doing, whether you receive the cash, whether you pay or don't pay the cash, you have to record that transaction into the business. This is the reason for that. An accrual says that, okay, if the expenses belongs to that period, you have to record it irrespective whether you paid or not paid. Okay, can somebody tell me what is the concept of conservatives? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Conservative concepts. What do
Sir,
you mean by the
conservatism is also called as prudence, which means
Yes, prudence.
if loss happened, then we will record.
Loss
But if
happened or loss
sorry,
is
future
about to
loss.
happen.
Yes, sorry.
About to
Future
happen. You
loss.
feel that.
We will ignore
Okay.
future profits and record future losses.
Mm-hmm. So that what is called the conservatism.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make
You are
provision for
like,
the future.
अगर foresee losses
Huh?
record if you see profit differ.
Make it little loud.
Anticipated losses must be recorded within the same year as soon as it is found, whereas anticipated revenues or profit cannot be recorded. That's the concept of conservatism.
Yeah, that is the right answer. So conservative says that, okay, when you have a feelings, when you have a substance that you feel that, okay, this expense is going to be incurred, you just record it. If not, then also show as a contingent liability somewhere. If you feel that, okay, this will happen, so that at least you will have a clear, true and fair pictures.
Sir,
So these are the reasons. Yes, tell me.
sir, can you once again explain that conservative principle, sir?
So conservative, what is called, when you have any foreseen losses or foreseen expenses, you have to record in the books. Okay, but foreseen income you cannot record. Income only you can record when it's become realized. Okay, and
Okay,
we
sir.
will learn when we comes to the revenue recognitions, and now in the new syllabus, revenue recognitions has too much amendment. So that has to be read very carefully. So anticipated loss has to be booked. That is the main point of the conservative approach. Okay. Now in the same statement of cash flow we maintain. Then after we have to make the statement of change in equity. Statement of change in equity. And how it's making? Say that in the opening you have some number of shares. You will say all the reconciliation like a number of shares. You will have write it here. Then you have the book value. What is the book value? And you can say that nominal value. Then you can additional paid-in capital. I think you know that. That is the share premium in India. We call it share premium. Then if you have some treasury stock, you can maintain it here. And then you can have some other net profit and general reserve, you can maintain it here. And the other OCI also you can maintain it here, other comprehensive income. So in the beginning, if you have like some one 20, you have to say that, okay, you have 1,000 outstanding shares, value of 10, you will record it. If you don't have any additional paid-in capital, you don't need to record it. If you don't have any treasury stock, you don't need to show it. But maybe you have some 5,000 general reserve in your books, and if you have some OCI, say right 500 you have. So whatever the transactions happen during the year, like in the current year, you have done some buyback. If you do some buyback, what is the impact? Your issued capital will get reduced. Say that I did the buyback of 10%. It means that this 10% will be reduced from here, and it will be shown as a treasury stock for the same value. Okay. So the net impact will be there. And you can also keep this 100 here and show as a minus here and this plus here. Okay, so you can say like this, but unless you are not cancelling, you have to show it like this. Then you have a current year profit. Say that you have a current year profit of 500. You can just go and add it here. And at the end, if you don't have any OCI changes, OCI during the year, say that you have done some losses, you can just minus it from here, OCI. We will learn in detail in the next section because just I am talking about the structure today, not in detail. So you can say that this is as on 31st 12 2020. So this is the presentations of the statement of change in equity. You have to record when you are presenting your financial statement, you have to present these things. Is it okay? What is the statement of change in equity? Is it okay? Entity concept is very easy. Entity concept that says that business and the businessmen are the separate people. Business and the business owners are the separate peoples. So business always keep the owners in the liability side because the business say that, okay, this is the residual interest. When I will be dissolved, when I will be go out of the business, I have to return this much money to the owner. That is the reason of keeping this, knowing the entity concept. Okay, so we are just closing the session here. Okay, thank you for the coming. If you people have any concern, please let me know. And I don't know most of the people. So thank you very much giving for your time. Okay, we will be continuing this like on the day after tomorrow. Okay. और यशवंत भाई कैसे हो?
बढ़िया सर बढ़िया.
Yeah. No, link is same, no? For until January 15, link is same.
February 13.
Yes, you can share. Until 15, the link is same. No changes. Okay, if you